Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here at my next avatar and Korra news update video. And for me this is a big one. This is some pretty unexpected news that has the potential to be something even bigger when it gets fully confirmed. Right now we know a little bit but not everything, but you'll obviously understand what I'm talking about as we go through this. So the main bit of news that started this off was that IGN revealed exclusively all of the Nickelodeon exclusive merchandise that is going to be available at SDCC, so the SDC exclusives. This is for like stuff like Turtles, Power Rangers, and stuff like that, but it also included some Avatar and Korra stuff. Specifically 2 items. The first one is a Avatar and Korra art print from drawn by Brian Konietzko, co-creator obviously. It's of Aang and Korra, and it's called Avatar Generations. You can see the image here. It's pretty nice. I personally think it would have been better if it was like just normal colors rather than trying to do something weird with like all the kind of tan colors and stuff like that. I think that kind of takes away from it, but still it's a pretty cool print overall. But it's the second item that is where this kind of journey happened, where just everyone went from like, okay, that's a pretty cool thing, to being like, this has the potential to be amazing. And that is that the second item is a PVC kit figure of Lin Beifong, made by Zwyer Industries, who I'll talk about a lot during this video. So when I first saw this, I was just like, cool, that's a really nice looking Lin Beifong figure. My second thing was like, of all the characters, why are we getting a Lin Beifong figure? Why isn't this Korra? Why isn't this Aang? Why Lin? Because I originally thought that this was a Dark Horse Deluxe product from the Dark Horse line, because obviously they released the Aang statue a while back, and we hadn't heard anything about what they were doing next. Then I saw the Zwyer Industries logo on the box, as you can see in this image. So yeah, it's different. It's not the same as the other figure. So straight away from there, I was just kind of like, okay, there's something going on here. Is this a new company making new products? Is this like a replacement for the Dark Horse line? Or is this kind of what they meant all those years ago when they announced that there would be like figurines and statues, that this company was kind of in the process of coming to life? But either way, we'll get to talking about Zwyer Industries more in a couple of minutes. Let's actually address more on this Lin Beifong exclusive figure. So this is going to be a special SDCC version of this Lin Beifong figure. There is a regular version, which I'll talk about in a moment, but the SDCC version is going to have a special glossy kind of paint treatment, so it's going to look very shiny. And then a lot of the gold is going to be done with this kind of really high quality gold paint, and stuff like the nameplate on the base is going to be painted in good gold paint as well. So it's just a very high quality paint job, as a lot of SDC exclusive stuff actually just ends up being the only difference is the paint job. Personally, like if I was to get all of this stuff, I would go for the regular version over this, just because if there is more of these figures coming out, the special glossy version is going to look out of place compared to everything else. But as I said, the key things to note about this are it's made by Zwyer Industries, it's a PVC figure, it's a kit, so there is some assembly required. I assume it's like you have to attach Lin to the base, and then maybe you have to attach her arms onto her body and maybe the head on as well. This is because obviously PVC, just the nature of the material, it is easier to paint, it's easier to produce if you make it in parts, and in terms of packaging and stuff like that, it's probably cheaper for like the consumers and stuff like that to actually pay for it if you package it like incomplete and stuff like that, and you actually have to put it together. But we don't know the full details on that yet. So yeah, super high quality paint, all hand painted. So as you'd expect from like a high quality product like this. It's 11 inches tall, so that's fairly big. Like, for example, like this transformer is around 6 inches tall, so double this. So it's like something like the size of this Lin statue. So it's not massive like the Aang statue, but it's still pretty big. And because it's made of PVC, because it's hand painted and stuff like that, I expect this to cost at least probably 70, but probably more like 100, maybe more. I really am not sure on my pricing on PVC figures. Um, but I'll talk more about the pricing as this goes on, but straight away, I think it's a really interesting figure. I think it looks great, but as I said, I think the regular version is a lot more interesting. Which you can see the regular pictures of the regular version here. And again, I'll link all of this stuff in the description below in terms of where the galleries for the special version and the non-special version are. But yeah, so from there I was just like, okay, cool, new company, what's going on? And I'm like, okay, do Zwyer Industries have a website where they've announced this maybe? And they do. They do have a website, which again, links in the description below. And straight away, the big thing I was taken by on their homepage was that it's a fairly new website. They don't have a lot of products on it. The only products that are there are some information about the Lin Beifong figure, the SDCC version, and the regular version, and then there's this book for some other thing that they worked on. But then the only other image on the front page is this really mysterious, and the most interesting thing. The reason I'm doing this video is primarily because of this image of just a bunch of Avatar characters, just their silhouette, their shadow outline, on a kind of blue background, Avatar, like it's kind of like this coming soon thing, this is what we're doing next. And it seems to be suggesting that Zwyer Industries are going to be making a complete line of Avatar The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra PVC figure kits. Here's the image so you can look at it yourselves. Given that they just today, there was the announcement about this figure, this Lin figure, I don't think there's any other conclusion to draw other than they are making other Avatar figures. Now, there's a lot of specifics that need to be answered, of course, in terms of like, are all of these figures going to be the same size as the Lin one, or is the Lin one just this kind of exclusive one-off, really tall figure, and the rest of them will be these kind of small figures, more affordable? We just don't know right now. I assume they will get the full reveal of Zwyer Industries and what they're doing at SDCC, because it would make sense. That's where they're releasing one of their products for the first time, and it would make sense that they would make some sort of announcement at this convention to Avatar fans who they are selling a product to already. Let them know that, hey, collection is starting here. But there, as I said, let's go back to the image. So there's 8 silhouettes on this image, plus we already have the known Lin Beifong figure. And the silhouettes are Book 1 Water Aang, Sokka, Katara, Zuko, and then Book 2 Earth Toph. They're the Avatar The Last Airbender characters. So they're going back to ATLA time, and they're doing the characters based on their show models from the early seasons. Then with Korra, there's 3 characters. There's Book 1 Air Korra, Book 1 Air Mako, and Book 1 Air Bolin. So again, early designs for the Korra characters as well. And straight away, they are the most obvious kind of group of characters to do from each series. Lin still is just kind of like, really? No Asami rather than Lin? No Tenzin rather than Lin? But okay, people like Lin. And again, why would they show these specific silhouettes? Why would they do this if they weren't going to release something that is about these characters? Again, what we don't know is if this is just the scale they're going for, that every single one of Zwyer's models or what they're doing next is going to be an 11-inch PVC model kit, or if it's going to be made of some other material, if it's going to be smaller, bigger, or what. I would assume, just because of stuff like Mike and Brian have said, that Zwyer Industries is a new company. It was made by two people who worked on the show, The Legend of Korra, Mel and Alan. They made this company. Mike and Brian have assisted in some of the design work on these models to make sure they're accurate. They're making a big deal about this, that the crew of the show is working to make these figures. That this is going to be something big that Avatar fans will want to see. They've even said that Zwyer Industries are going to have some cool stuff coming out in the future. So again, the only conclusion that I can draw is just that there will be some sort of product coming out from Zwyer Industries involving these 8 characters in silhouette. And because they announced a PVC figure, I assume we are getting PVC figures. In the comments, let me know what your thoughts are on just this reveal. Your thoughts on the print, the figure, the regular lane and glossy SDCC lane that we got, plus the potential for figures of these other characters. I'll just end it with actually just talking about what some important choices I think they need to make when they do announce this stuff. And those are basically the price. I think the price is going to be the thing that decides if this line is going to be a success or not. Because if these things are too expensive, you'll have so many people just not want to even start a collection. That if they're too expensive, no one will even want to buy one of these things, let alone all of them. Whereas if they're at least in some way affordable, you will potentially have a lot of Avatar fans who have been desperate for Avatar merchandise, wanting to collect all of these things. And unfortunately, if they're all at 11 inches tall, and if, as I suspect, the price will be at the level I suspect, around 100 or potentially more for one of these, that's not going to work. So they've got some big kind of things to kind of come out with. As I said, I think the best decision they could probably make would be that they release, they're PVC kits. Sure, they're hand painted, very detailed, but they're not 11 inches tall. They're maybe 6 inches tall, something around this size. It looks more like an action figure. You can still have it be very accurate, but it's just not this huge thing that is expensive. That way, it's maybe, 40, 50 for one figure, and that's a lot more reasonable. If you really like the character, there's no Avatar figures really out there for the most part. If you really like a character, you will spend that to get them in physical form, and I'm willing to do that. If they do all end up being like 11 inches tall, or whatever that would be to scale, like say Aang is like 8 inches tall, and then Korra is like 9.5 or something like that, depending on the height of the characters. If they are that expensive, I probably will still get one or two of them. At the very least, I can see myself getting the Aang and the Korra, just the main characters from each show. Conveniently, my two favorite characters from both shows, and just leaving it there. But as I said, they are the big announcements. They are the things that are going to make or break if this is a success and people in our fandom actively want to buy these things. It's the price and how big they are, and I suppose what characters they choose and when they're coming out and stuff like that. Right now, I think they have a lot of people interested, including myself, and depending on how this announcement goes, they could make or break this thing. In the comments, let me know what your thoughts are on this line, potentially, and all the stuff I've talked about here. I, for one, am very excited. I love talking about Avatar merchandise, and this to me seems like it could be really good, and it's made me excited about Comic-Con this year, whereas otherwise, in terms of us being an Avatar fan, I haven't necessarily been excited for Comic-Con this year. So I'm kind of watching Comic-Con this year in terms of an Avatar fan, looking for an announcement from this new company, Zwyer Industries, just to see what they're doing. So that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.